Thank you very much. Warm greetings on this very auspicious day, that is the Constitution Day. At the outset, I would like to pay my tribute to this great man, Dr. Kushwaha, a visionary who saw the dream of establishing institutions where students, young students, will get the food for their thought. They will try to fulfill their dreams, and they will take active part in the societal development, national development, and in all meaningful ways they will be having in life what they are thinking for. Mr. Pratik Kushwaha, Director, Prabhat Ranjan ji, Registrar, Dean Academics, Deputy Registrar, Dean Mr. Ravi, Dr. Anjali, respected teachers, and my dear students. I am here for you. I am thankful to Anjali who called me and invited me, and I thought that this will be the best way to give my contribution on this Constitutional Day to interact with the students in the morning. However, I am sorry that I am late and you are sitting here for the last more than 1 hour. But you know this word Constitution, you are law student. The whole country is celebrating this Constitution Day. What is the difference between the celebrations we are having, or the celebrations which the medical students are having, or the celebration PM is having, or today President is also going to celebrate the Constitution? What is the difference? Because your journey starts from the Constitution itself. For example, I will ask you, what is Constitution and what is the constitutional law? Everybody say that Constitution is the basic law of the country. Constitution is the basic document of the country. In the words of the Kelson, it is the grand norm. Okay, I agree. But how it is different from others? And the moment the students are exposed to this question, their journey starts, their learning starts. And it is important because I am impressed by this Rama University. Congratulations to you and your team. Because when I entered, I saw so many students on the field. They are participating in certain activities. It's a campus full of activities. Every campus is meant for that. And that's why I congratulate you all. Because where the activities are going on, discussions are going on, debates are going on, that place can not other than the university. And today, law students, they are discussing about the Constitution. They want to know more about the Constitution, and that's why I started my dialogue with you. What is constitutional law? What is Constitution? I think when you will read the definition, then your teacher might have told you that constitutional law is that branch of law which deals with the composition, powers and function of the different organs of the government. As well as it is the law which provides relationship between the state and the citizens. So constitutional law, why we say fundamental law? Because it provides the composition, powers and functions of the organs. What are the organs of the government? Because today you are saying that, sir, we believe in our constitution. Okay, we agree. Registrar Saab, you see, he is not a professor of law, but he has been an officer. And that's why he mentioned about the constitution, fundamental rights, but he also mentioned about the preamble. Because you might be remembering preamble, we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialistic, democratic republic and to secure for all its citizens justice, that is social, economic and political. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. Equality of status and opportunity. Promoting among them all fraternity. Assuring the dignity of individual and the unity and integrity of the country. This statement, how we will protect liberty, how we will provide justice, how we will be enforcing the rules. And that's why when you look towards your constitution, you will find that there are three important things to be learned by you. Your constitutional teacher might have told you. The first thing is institutions, or you can say organs. Organs of the government. How many organs are there? 3. What are those? Legislature, executive and judiciary. 3 organs. Okay. And second thing is rules. Because we always say the country should be run by the rule of law. It is the rule which should prevail. It is the law which should be respected. And these rules, whether the whole constitution reflects the rules or law, or there are some part which declares law and some parts do not. Because the third thing, I am going to tell you about the ideas. Constitution is a document, some people call it. Political document, some people call it. Social document, we call it sacred document. And remember one thing, this is not the product of revolution. I started mentioning about the French Revolution. He was talking about the outcome of that. But our Indian constitution is not the result of the revolution. It is a result of the research. Constituent Assembly sat continuously 2 years, 11 months, 17 days, and they gave this document. And they tried to incorporate all the good things which were prevailing at that particular time. And whether it was USA, UK, Ireland, Britain, Japan, Australia, you are reading that in your book. All those things were taken. And this document was given. But the whole constitution doesn't reflect law. Of course, when you talk about the fundamental rights, these are the rules. These are the rules which are to be followed by the state while they are interacting with the citizens. And that was the reason why the Supreme Court recently pronounced a judgment that why you are not providing the permanent commission to the women. Equality of opportunity and status. Article 16 of your constitution, and you know it took more than 74 years. I think constitution was given in 1949, I will come to that, and 1950. And almost after 71 years, a woman in army could claim the equality along with male counterparts. It could have been possible only because of the constitution. So what I was telling, that rule of law, of course, we have said that we believe in justice, liberty and equality, and rules are there. 3 organs are there. But ideas, because the framers of the constitutions were very intelligent, very wise. You have gone through Directive Principles of State Policy. It starts from article. Sure? Yes. And it goes up to 51. And then thereafter you will find 51A, that is regarding the fundamental duties. These are fundamental duties are not justiciable. Directive Principles of State Policies are not justiciable. What are they? They are the ideas. Others, organic laws are there, which are trying to regulate the functioning of the organs, whereas ideas are there to enlighten, to provide direction to the governance as well as citizens. Because on this day, all of you, if you will not show respect to your national flag, if you will not show respect to your institutions, if you will not remember the freedom fighters who gave their life, रजिस्ट्रार साहब भगत सिंह का नाम ले रहे, शायद this day, because on 2014, when our Prime Minister Modi ji was inaugurating the Statue of Equality on the 125th birth anniversary of B.R. Ambedkar in Mumbai, there he announced that we will celebrate Constitution Day on 26th November. Before that, the name was the Lord Day. Because we gave Constitution, Constituent Assembly gave Constitution on 26th November. You might have read, because on this date we are giving this Constitution to the country. And I found on social media as well as on the I think some websites and Twitter, they were telling that we adopted Constitution on 26 January 1950. Is it right or wrong? Yes. It is wrong. Why it is wrong? It was enforced. No. When it was applied? 1949, it was given to the nation. And from which date the provisions of the Constitution applied? My dear sirs and madams, please read Article 393, 394 and 395. Unlike other legislations, because you will find ordinarily clause, the section 1 deals with the name of the legislation and jurisdiction. But Indian Constitution, that this is the Indian Constitution, it has been provided only in Article 393. 393 last, there are only 395 articles in the Constitution. The actual number is 448, but something A, B like that. So 395 articles are there in the Constitution, and 393 deals with the nomenclature. This Constitution will be known as the Constitution of India. Are you having the whereat, my dear friend? Yes. Read 393.
writer
हाँ.
This constitution may be called the Constitution of India.
This constitution may be called as the Constitution of India. इसके पहले कहीं नहीं लिखा हुआ. और कंपटीशन में मैंने यूपीएससी में I asked this question and people were not able to answer.
Sir.
Because nobody is going up to this place. So you should know where it is. Constitution of ये बेयर एक्ट जो आपके हाथ में है, ये बेयर लेजिस्लेशन जो है, ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया का है. वो कहां से पता लगता है? 393 एंड आर्टिकल 394 इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. व्हाई इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट? रीड इट हियर.
Authoritative text in the Hindi language. The President shall cause to be published under his authority. A. The translation of this Constitution.
No. Which article you are reading?
394A.
Not A. 394 itself.
Commencement.
Commencement. Yeah. Yeah. Please read.
This article and articles 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60 and 324, 366, 367, 379, 380, 388, 391, 392 and 393 shall come into force at once and the remaining...
Stop. Shall come into force at... What does it mean? What does it mean? These articles which have been mentioned in Article 394, they have come into operation from 26 November 1949. अब आपका जवाब क्या होगा? संविधान किस दिन से लागू हुआ? किस दिन से ऑपरेशन में आया? Rest part came into operation from 26 January 1950. Friends, yes, thank you dear. Sit down. So what I was telling, it's an interesting, because I'm not an expert of the Constitution, but I take interest in discussing, debating with my faculty and students. Basically, I am a criminal law person, and I take pride in saying so. But Constitution is something that I read again and again, but still I feel confused. Why I feel confused? Because I don't know, but I am confident that the faculty you are having, they might have told you the meaning of the sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. On Constitution Day, at least you should have the conceptual clarity of these terms. Because these terms, if they will not be clear to you, our dean said that welfare state. Welfare state means informed citizenry. I prepared a note that in this modern era, informed citizenry is a sign to a non for a functional country, vibrant country. But after listening to experts and esteemed colleagues, I thought that I should have a dialogue rather than monologue with you. And informed citizenry. How it will be an informed citizenry? Because you are talking about the justice, social, economic and political. How you will understand the social justice? Because as far as fundamental rights are concerned, how many categories of fundamental rights are there? 6. Very good. Can I know your name please, beta? Vaishnavi. Very good name. The first category is right to equality. 14 to 18. Article 14 to 18. This right to equality, and before that Article 13 is very important. Why it is important? Because it provides, Article 12 provides the definition of a state, and Article 13 provides that any law, existing law or the old law which is in conflict or which is in derogation with the provisions of the part 3 of the Constitution, to that part, that will be And then they start with the right to equality 14 to 18, and ours is a unique constitution because you will not find an example like Article 17 which is there in our country. Punishment for untouchability, unique provision. Survey, search, try to find out, and that's why we salute our forefathers for providing this particular provision. Because if we really want to do justice, social justice, discrimination in the form of untouchability, discrimination against women, discriminations of different forms was and is a big problem. In 2021, if the army officers, lady army officers are getting the advantage of the permanent commission, then my dear sirs and ma'ams in black coats who are sitting here, you have to be aware of your importance in society, that only you can bring justice through your imagination, through your participation, through your efforts, because a law school is a reservoir of learning. A law school is a benchmark of training. Or I will say that every university stands for the discovery of knowledge. It stands for the creation of knowledge, dissemination of knowledge, and above all, making of the knowledge makers. In this law school, if you will develop the critical analysis skill, because I always say, until and unless you will not critically analyze the things, law place is not a thing to read, learn, or mug up. It is a place to think and think and think. The more you will think, I don't know whether you have thought about the Aryan arrest, you have thought about during the prohibitory orders which were imposed by the Kashmir governor on the internet. There are judgments. Those discussions were here or not. Because core knowledge with contemporary or contextual knowledge along with the skills, it makes you the perfect lawyer for the future. And ultimately, a lawyer who is able to defend and protect the rights of others, I think is a boon for the society. And this Rama University, always see this man, because I saw the portrait of this visionary big person only today. What impressive personality he is. And if you are not able to carry on the forward, then who else will do? So my dear friends, when I was discussing that right to equality, and after that right to freedom from 19 to 20, 22, not 21. Right against exploitation comes under 23 and 24. Why freedom of speech, reasonable restrictions, but I am telling you specifically about Article 20, 21 and 22 because I told you, I am a student of criminal law. And as far as the criminal law is concerned, these provisions forms the epistemological foundation of the application of the criminal law in any country. Ontological knowledge, okay. Article 20, 21, 22, you read Jerome Hall. What are the principles of criminal liability? Number one, act or omission. Number 2, mens rea. Number 3, concurrence of the act omission with mens rea, actus reus. Number 4, harm. Number 5, causation. Number 6, punishment. And number 7, legality. And how we determine legality in our country? Article 20, 21, 22. Article 20, it is having three clauses. Today you must remember all these things, because what is happening around us, whether it is Kanpur, whether it is Lucknow, whether it is Mumbai, whether it is Delhi, every day such type of questions are coming in the public life. And I think our director and our dean academics and the directors are talking about the constitutional values and the thoughts. What is that? It is this, Article 20, there shall not be any ex post facto application of the criminal law. It's a constitutional value, and a state will have to follow it. When there is a problem and the state wants that this person should be punished, and they want to bring a law so that they may punish him, the state will not be able to do that. Because the law which was there on the date when the offense was committed, only that can be applied. Afterwards, even the punishment cannot be increased. It can be decreased. So, ex post facto application of the criminal law is not. B, there shall not be any double jeopardy. Nobody can be convicted for the offense which he has committed once. Nobody can be convicted twice. And number 3, no one can be forced to become the witness against himself or herself. याद करो यार, रामायण जब हम पढ़ते हैं ना, आज हमारा रामायण डे है, हमने सारी चौपाइयाँ पढ़ रहे हैं, तो हम लोग दोबारा बार बार पढ़ते हैं, मंगल भवन न मंगलहारी द्रवसु दशरथ अजर बिहारी. संविधान, constitution, what are the good points and why we need it? Because this is the weapon in our hand. This is the document for life. And Article 22, the whole procedure is provided. At the time of arrest, police will have to tell the ground for arrest. Within 24 hours, he has to be produced before the magistrate, and every procedure which is there. But even then, so many violations. And here one question comes. We use two terms: fundamental rights, human rights. Human rights and fundamental rights are the same or they are different? Different. What is the difference?
Human rights are get just by the virtue of being human, whereas fundamental rights are those that are given in the Constitution. And those are given.
Hey, but you are getting, when you say rights, there must be some source. Rights are the child of law. From real law comes real rights, Bentham. And from imaginary law comes imaginary rights. So when you say human rights, so human rights, international human rights are enforceable against a state or individual. Against a state. So there is a difference. As a human, you are saying that these rights should be made available to every human because he is a human or she is a human, will it serve the purpose? Hey, you just see the history. And my dear friends, be sure, when you are studying the international law, you are going deep in human rights, then be aware that first documentary expression of this human right was made in 1942, charter, first charter, which came, and then UDHR, United Nations Charter came and UDHR was declared, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It was simply a statement of vision that we believe that these are the rights, basic rights, minimal rights which must be made available to each and every human by virtue of their being the member of the society. Whereas there was no mechanism to check the violations, exploitation. And this particular gap was filled by the United Nations in 1966 and onwards, when they passed the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, International Covenant on Social, Cultural and Economic Rights. And after that, CEDAW, CCR, so many conventions are there. And but remember, fundamental rights are fundamental rights because they have been provided under the Part 3 of the Constitution. But these human rights, in 1993, teacher, I will request you, respected teacher, who is teaching either international law or constitutional law, they should tell the students that in 1993 the Protection of Human Rights Act was passed, and in India, I think again it's a unique example where the word human rights in domestic context has been defined. And what is the definition of human rights under that Protection of Human Rights Act 1993? Section 2D says human right means rights related to life, liberty, equality and dignity guaranteed under the Indian Constitution as well as embodied under the International Covenant and Declaration which may be enforced by the courts in India. Try to understand. Rights are almost the same, but they have added the rights which are embodied in the International Covenant. And why it helps? Because before that, you remember there was a case, Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan. What is the importance of that case? Because in that case, Justice Verma came out with the new offense, sexual harassment of women at workplace. This was not an offense before, but applying the International Covenant, CEDAW provision, he said that harassment of women at workplace is an offense, and if it is there, then it should be punished, and he provided a sort of protocol for punishing the offender. So for the first time, we say that the judges are the interpreter, they are not the creator of law. But in this case, the judge created the law. These are the situations where judge becomes the creator, and we, realistic school of jurisprudence, say that law, what is law? Only law, what is pronounced by the judge. So, in this case, and second thing, I think a journey which started from Rudul Shah onwards. आप लोग बच्चों बोर जब होने लगा मुझे बता दें. I don't want you to.
अब बोल रहे हो.
Rashmi, it's okay.
हाँ देख खून पीटा रहे हो.
Thank you.
अभी आधा भी निकलना नहीं हो रहा है.
So,
फिर शुरू.
another journey,
तो होगा थोड़ी.
because a constitutional law teacher might have told you about the right to property. Right to property is a fundamental right. It was a fundamental right under Article 31. It was a fundamental right.
Yes, sir.
Then what happened? Which amendment? 44th amendment. So what happened afterwards? Why it was shifted? Because one more question is going on in your mind. Who is the real custodian of Constitution? Whether it is judiciary or executive, there are three organs: executive, legislature, or judiciary. Because Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, when he tried to introduce land reforms, different high courts and supreme courts gave adverse orders, and that forced Pandit Nehru to bring the first amendment in the constitution. And Schedule 9 was added, because previously there were only 8 schedules, now we are having 12 schedules. 12 schedules. So 9th schedule was added, but after that, journey from, you talked about the 44th amendment, but before that, you might have been told about by your teacher the cases of Sajjan Prasad, Kalki Prasad, Golaknath, and then Keshwanand Bharti, and ultimately Minerva Bill case. But in Keshwanand Bharti, that is one case which every student should read, और मुझे मालूम है कितना बड़ा केस है और इतने ज़्यादा जजेस के रिमार्क्स हैं, उसको पढ़ने में हम लोगों की भी हवा निकल जाती है. लेकिन बेटा, if you will read it once, then you will try to read it again and again, and the knowledge of the whole constitution will be in your mind, and you will be able to analyze anything. Because this is a case which provided any part of the constitution can be amended, but not the basic structure. And even today we are making researches to find out what is the basic structure of the constitution. And second, in I think Article 21, you know what is Article 21? No person shall be deprived of the life and liberty without the procedure established by law. And during the Constituent Assembly, this procedure established by law was debated, and even the Frankfurter and other honorable judges were consulted by the Constituent Assembly, and they were asking that, like USA, we should put due process clause here, or we should put the procedure established by law. They suggested that the term procedure established by law is much better than the due process of law. And so in Article 21, procedure established by law was mentioned. During emergency, ADM Jabalpur case पढ़ा हुआ है, and when the matter came before the Supreme Court, arbitrary arrest, but the arrest was made in consonance with the provisions of the law. Supreme Court said that the procedure which has been prescribed by the law, it has been followed by the executive. Therefore, no relief will be given from this effect. After emergency, the Supreme Court got another opportunity in the Maneka Gandhi case versus Union of India. आपके टीचर्स ने आपको बहुत पढ़ाया होगा, बार-बार पढ़ाया होगा, because the judgment of the Maneka Gandhi case changed the dynamics of the justice delivery process. Justice about which we were talking, that the justice social, economical and political. Even if we will not be able to provide the legal justice, other justice will not be possible. And in this case, Supreme Court said that it is true that the procedure should be followed, but the procedure must be just, reasonable and fair. It should be in consonance with the Article 14, 15 and 16, and if the procedure is not just, reasonable and fair, it will not be accepted. Article 21 became the springboard of the whole dynamics, whether it is PIL, whether it is a different type of rights which are coming out, because right to life now includes peaceful living, sports, good facilities. You name the thing and it is included in Article 21. So Article 21 has become the soul of the whole constitution, and you should try to understand this article again and again. And when the matter came before the court and people started saying that no, during the Constituent Assembly, members were against this interpretation. How the Supreme Court has taken this interpretation? Supreme Court said that the law goes hand in hand with the society. According to the needs of the society, the law will transform itself. Otherwise, if the law will lag behind the society, law will be forgotten or law will be removed. There should be any revolution, law should work in that direction. So friends, after Article 21 or after this Maneka Gandhi case, one case of Bihar. You have read the case of Rudul Shah versus the state of Bihar? Rudul Shah, टीचर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लॉ जो भी पढ़ा रहे हैं, I think these are the cases which must be told. A person was arrested by the police. He was sent to the central jail of Bihar. He was there. When one team from the Supreme Court came for the inspection of the central jail Bihar, they found that this person is there, but nobody was able to tell what for he is here, and no papers were found inside the jail. They asked that person, how you are here? Sir, I was taken into custody by the police. What for you were taken into custody? I think he said that for blackmailing the tickets. For blackmailing the tickets? And what happened? What happened from that day onwards? I am here. You were not produced before the magistrate. Now Article 21 provides that within 24 hours after the arrest,